My wonderful listeners. Welcome back to another episode of our podcast, where language isn't just a tool, it's a mirror, a bridge, a battlefield, and sometimes a home. Today's episode is one of those topics that sits at the intersection of culture, identity, and politics. It's about how language, so personal, so intimate, can be turned into a weapon, a banner, a boundary, a test of loyalty. It's about linguistic nationalism. And today we're diving deep into how language can both unite and divide. How it becomes a symbol of national pride, and sometimes a tool of oppression. So, get comfortable because in the following minutes we're going to explore the complexities, the ironies, and the human stories behind the phrase, your language, your nation. So, get yourself comfortable, grab yourself a coffee, and let's get started. Let's start with a simple question. What is linguistic nationalism? At its core, linguistic nationalism is the idea that language is more than a means of communication. It's a defining marker of identity. It's a badge of belonging. Or, in some cases, exclusion. Let's say, a lot of times, in most of the cases now, exclusion. It's the idea that a nation and a language are inseparable. And while that might sound beautiful in theory, one nation, one language, in practice, it's often been a double-edged sword. Because when language becomes a symbol of unity, it also becomes a tool for defining us and them. It can elevate, but it can also erase. Let's travel back in time for a moment. Take France after the Revolution. French was declared the language of the Republic. Regional languages like Breton, Occitan, Basque were suppressed in schools. Children were punished for speaking their mother tongue. But why? Right? Because unity was synonymous with uniformity. To be French was to speak French, and only French. Crazy, right? Or think of Atatürk, or Ataturk, Turkey in the 1920s. The new republic embraced Turkish as the language of modernity and nationalism. Arabic script was replaced with the Latin alphabet. Kurdish and other minority languages were marginalized, silenced, or labeled threats to the unity of the nation. Language in these cases wasn't just a policy, It was a political project, a way to shape identity, a way to erase difference. Now, fast forward to more recent times, and you see the same patterns. In Spain, under Franco, Catalan and Basque were banned from public life. In China today, Mandarin is promoted at the expense of Tibetan, Uyghur, and Mongolian. In Rwanda, before the genocide, language played a role in defining who belonged and who didn't. And in all these cases, language wasn't just a code, it was a boundary, a weapon to define loyalty, a test of who was truly part of the nation. But let's pause here and ask, why does language hold so much power in the construction of national identity? Well, because language is the way we tell our stories. It's the way we define our heroes and our enemies. It's the way we remember the past and imagine the future. And when leaders want to build a nation, especially a new one, they need stories, they need unity, they need a language that says, "We are one." But here's the danger. When a single language becomes the emblem of nationhood, it often leaves others behind. Imagine growing up speaking a language that's not the language of power. Imagine being told your words are wrong, backwards, provincial, or dangerous. Imagine having to choose between your mother's voice and your country's expectations. Sounds pretty bad, right? So that's the emotional heart of linguistic nationalism. It's not just about grammar. It's about belonging or not. It's about identity or erasure. Now, let's bring this down to the human level. Let's talk about Ukraine. Pretty sensitive right now, but let's try to make it clear this is just about languages, all right? For centuries, Ukrainian and Russian have existed side by side, sometimes overlapping, sometimes competing. Under the Russian Empire and later the Soviet Union, Russian was the language of administration, education, and upward mobility. Ukrainian was often dismissed as a peasant dialect, a language of folklore, but not of power. After independence in 1991, Ukraine had to decide, what does it mean to be Ukrainian? What role does language play in that identity? Fast forward to the present, and language is now at the center of conflict. Russian speakers and Ukrainian speakers, policies promoting Ukrainian in education and media, debates over street names, schools, and TV shows, and beyond the politics, the deeply personal decisions of family choosing what language to speak at home. Here, language is both of a tool of resistance and a marker of division. It's a line in the sand, and a bridge to the future. Let's go and let's explore another case. India, a nation of over 1,000 languages and dialects. Hindi is promoted as a national language, but not everyone speaks it at home. Tamil speakers in the south have long resisted Hindi imposition. They see it as a threat to their Dravidian identity. They see language as a shield against culture erasure. Language protests have been so intense that at times they spark violence. Because for many in India, language is not just a medium, it's a political identity, a declaration of who you are and who you refuse to be. And then there's Belgium, a nation divided between Dutch-speaking Flanders and French-speaking Wallonia. Language tensions shape politics, education, even where people live. There are communities that define themselves by language first, nationality second. Can you imagine that? And in Brussels, a bilingual city, you feel that tension every day. In signs, in schools, in conversations. It's a reminder that linguistic nationalism is not just a relic of the past. It's alive, it's dynamic, and it's human. And this episode is sponsored by Pro Club Languages at MikeEnglishOnline.com, where learning has no limits. Are you ready to take your language skills, teaching career, or professional growth to the next level? Whether you're looking to master a new language, prepare for international exams, or enhance your teaching expertise, Broad Club Languages is here to help. At myenglishonline.com, we offer language learning for all levels and ages: English, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, and more. English for specific purposes: business, academic, travel, and professional communication. International exams preparation: IELTS, TOEFL, CEFR, and beyond. But that's not all. If you're an educator, trainer, or aspiring teacher, we also provide workshops and seminars on pedagogy, educational psychology, motivation, classroom strategies, and innovative teaching techniques. Teacher training programs to help you stay ahead in the ever-evolving world of education. Expert insights on language acquisition, student engagement, and modern teaching methodologies. At Broad Club Languages, we don't just teach, we empower, inspire, and transform. Whether you're a student, a teacher, or a professional, we help you unlock opportunities, competence, and success. Visit MikeEnglishOnline.com today and start your journey toward mastery, because learning is a lifelong adventure, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Ready to level up? Click the link in the description and join Broad Club Languages today. But here's the question that's always in my heart. Can linguistic nationalism ever be a force for good? Yes and no. On the one hand, language can empower. Reviving a threatened language can heal historical wounds. It can restore dignity to a people who were silenced. It can create pride, creativity, art. Think of Hebrew in Israel. Once a liturgical language, now a living, breathing national language. A symbol of identity, unity, and survival. Or think of Welsh in Wales, a language that was once forbidden in schools, now proudly taught and celebrated. These are examples of linguistic nationalism as a liberatory force, a way to reclaim identity, to push back against erasure, to say, we matter. But here's the danger. When that pride becomes exclusion, there's the danger. When it says our language is not just ours, it's better. When it becomes a weapon to marginalize minorities, that's when nationalism of any kind turns dark. So, where does this leave us? How do we navigate the tightrope between pride and prejudice? Here's my belief. Language can unite, but only if it's allowed to embrace difference. Only if it recognizes that every language holds a world of meaning. Only if it says, we can celebrate our own language without silencing yours. Because at the end of the day, linguistic nationalism is a mirror. It shows us our deepest fears, our need for belonging, our fear of erasure. But it also shows us our capacity for empathy, for solidarity, for seeing the humanity in every voice. So, my wonderful listeners, as you walk through this world of languages, listen to the voices around you. Ask yourself, who's being heard? Who is being silenced? What does it cost to speak? What does it cost to stay silent? Because language is not just grammar or vocabulary. It's a story of power, a story of struggle, a story of who we are and who we can become. And as I always say, until next time, keep speaking, keep exploring, and keep growing, not just in language, but in compassion.